My name is Michael Thomsen. I grew up in Denmark, but I lived all my adult life in Australia. I currently live in Tasmania, the island south of the mainland Australia, and it's a very beautiful place. I've been a herbalist and naturopath for nearly 40 years. I also have a PhD in medical sciences from the University of Sydney. And my biggest claim to fame is the Phytotherapy Desk Reference, which is both a book for students and practitioners of herbal medicine and also an online application with herb-drug interactions and research, as well as traditional information about herbal medicine. So that's the main focus of my work now, is to update the book and the application.
Thank you so much, Michael. So, Michael, today we would love to discuss and just know more about ginkgo. So, could you please let us know any historical uses that this herb has throughout time?
Let's talk about Ginkgo Biloba because it's an amazing plant. It's known as a living fossil, which means that it is the only living species or plant in its family. In fact, in its whole group, there are about 350,000 plants in the world that are growing from seed, like ginkgo. And all those plants are divided into 5 groups. And ginkgo is in its group all by itself because it has no living relatives and it's not really found in nature growing wild anymore. It's been planted out. It survived in temple gardens across Asia, in Korea and China and Japan and so on. And that's why it's known as a living fossil. It's the oldest tree in the world. It was growing and thriving at the time of the dinosaurs. Maybe the dinosaurs was eating ginkgo to maintain their brain health. They're not known for being the smartest animals, but I think that's probably wrong. Anyway, ginkgo is a very beautiful tree and it's unchanged for 200 million years.
Wow.
It has elegant fan-shaped leaves with 2 lobes, hence its name, Ginkgo Biloba, which means 2 lobes. It also has very foul-smelling nuts or seeds, and they are used in traditional Chinese medicine for digestive complaints. But what's so interesting about ginkgo is that in Asia, they didn't develop a medicine from the leaf of the ginkgo. So the leaf is what we use now in modern herbal medicine or phytotherapy. And that was actually a German invention going back about 50 years. So ginkgo leaf extract is not a traditional medicine. It is a thoroughly modern herbal medicine.
That's so interesting. And now, since we're already touching on the modern application of ginkgo, could you talk more about that?
Yes, so the first commercial ginkgo extract appeared in 1974. It was called EGB 761, and it was developed by scientists at the German company called Schwabe. So I assume that they came across this botanical fact that ginkgo is its own plant. There's no other related species. There are no other plants like it. And they must have thought to themselves, therefore, there must also be some constituents that are probably unique to ginkgo that you don't find anywhere else. And they found 2 groups of constituents, and that's become the standardization of ginkgo for all those extracts that are used today. So you may find our products that are based on ginkgo extracts, but the definition of a scientifically validated ginkgo extract is similar to the original Schwabe extract that was developed about 50 years ago. It's a concentrated extract, and that's probably why in traditional medicine they never discovered a use for the leaf, because it's concentrated 50 times. So it takes 50 kilograms to make 1 kilogram of the final extract.
That is
Is a nootropic, which means it enhances cognitive function. It's also vasoprotective. It's a venotonic, so it's very good for healthy circulation of the legs. It's anti-inflammatory and also cytoprotective, so it protects cells against injury. So ginkgo is not just for the brain, for memory and concentration. It's also can be used to protect kidney function and other areas where there's a very fine circulation. I was actually having an eye test just the other day, and the optometrist mentioned ginkgo when he heard I was a herbalist, and he thought that it would have use for good eye health because the very, very fine blood vessels in the eye could be compromised in eye disorders, and ginkgo may be protective against some of those eye disorders. We have to think about ginkgo as a very important herbal medicine for the very fine microcirculation anywhere in the body.
I feel like ginkgo, honestly, based on what you just shared with us, Michael, it's a super herb, like super powerful, like Superman in a herb,
We have
really.
superfoods, so why not super herbs? It is a very popular herb, obviously. I have a renewed interest in longevity medicine as I age myself, and I do think that ginkgo could be such an important herb for longevity and to improve one's health span because it doesn't
Absolutely.
seem to have any toxic effects or side effects. There are some compounds called gingolic acids that are supposed to be toxic, but I actually think the dose is so very high that in everyday clinical practice, it's not an issue. And so it's very mild tasting as an extract, also a tablet. Most people use a tablet or capsule. And it might be a good thing to take as part of your healthy aging or longevity program to reduce maybe the risk of senility or dementias, but also keep the microcirculation going in the heart and kidneys and other vital organs.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, Michael, I feel like you've already said so many interesting facts about ginkgo, but I would still ask you, are there any other interesting facts that you would like to share with us today?
It's a very long-lived herb or plant. It's not really a herb, it's a tree. And I was in Japan last year and we visited a temple garden, and there's a tree there that was, let me get the facts right here. So this tree was 1,200 years old, so 1,200-year-old tree. Absolutely amazing. They're huge and very beautiful, bright green leaf in spring. This is the cover of my book. You can see I got a photo of a link, and you can see clearly that the leaf has two lobes, so hence the name biloba or two lobes. This tree is actually growing in my garden here in Tasmania. It's about 4 meters tall now. It's a beautiful tree. And in autumn, I don't know if I've got a photo here. I used to have a photo, but in autumn, the leaf turns a beautiful yellow color. And in Asia, people flock to the ginkgo trees in autumn to see these huge trees before they drop beautiful yellow leaves, and also when they're dropping this layer of yellow leaf on the ground. It's very beautiful. And another thing is that this nut that was used in traditional Chinese medicine has a really bad smell. In autumn, when you visit these sites, it can be very smelly. Once the seed dries out, the smell goes away and animals can actually come and eat them. But the interesting fact around that is that it's only the seed of female ginkgo trees that has the smell.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
when you go to a nursery and buy a ginkgo tree, you don't have to worry about the smell because they only sell the male trees normally.
Oh, okay. That's good to know in case I actually want to buy a ginkgo tree in
Ginkgo
the near
tree.
future. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.